Hey everyone, it's Latasha Alana here. Welcome back to Faith Fit Mom. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome. Glad to have you. Glad you're joining me. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming again. So today I'm going to be talking about faith moves. How I took the leap of faith to move from New York to Houston, Texas. Now, I spoke about this before, but I still to this day get the same question, the same reaction. So I'm going to try to make it short and sweet. And just know it was a big faith move. But then looking back, I'm like, it only was God that got me through this journey and to help me make this leap. Because if I had to do it by myself, I probably would still be in New York. So if you want to hear more how I put my faith in action, stay tuned. Let me get started. Let me get right into it. So basically, I heard the voice of God and I listened to him. I know it might sound like, kind of cliche in the Christian world, but hearing the voice of God is very important and is very essential. One way that God speaks to me is definitely through his word. A second way is through repetition. So when I start seeing things repeatedly, then I know that's God. I know it wasn't coincidences. Coincidences. Coincidences, they happen every now and then, but when you start seeing things over and over repeatedly in random places and in random ways, I'm like, all right, God. So that's how I knew that God was speaking to me. I would see license plates that say Texas. I would find postcards, random postcards that would say Texas. Or I'm out shopping and then I'll meet some random person. It's happened to me. I met a lady in H&M on my lunch break who was, she wasn't visiting, she was working in New York. She comes to New York to do certain jobs and then she goes back to Texas. So she just so happened to live in Houston. And I was like, wow, and so different things like that was happening to me. I also found out that my godfather moved out here and he's been living here for about 6 years. And just so many things. And I was just like, I knew that this was the right thing for me to do. And so I had a peace inside of me. And so that's another way you know the voice of God is when you're going to make a big decision and you have a peace. You might still be nervous, but you still have a peace that this is the right thing to do. So yes, I was absolutely nervous to move from New York to Houston. I came to Houston with 2 suitcases, my son and his stroller, and we made it happen. Okay, made it happen. God paved the way. I didn't have a job. I didn't have my own home. I was staying with family that I just met at my mom's funeral. If you want to know more details, please look at my previous videos on how I trusted family that I was just meeting. All of that. I didn't have a car. I still don't have a car. And, but God made a way. And one of the things that I did was I trusted in his word. And I did things to symbolize that I really, really mean what I say when I say I'm trusting in God. I'm like, God, do not let me down. Because I've had this desire to move to Houston for so long, since 2013. And you finally gave me the okay in 2018 to go. So I'm coming up on 2 years living out here. And I absolutely love it. It's a breath of fresh air. I say that all the time. But people are like, well, how did you do? Oh, they say, it's a lot slower. And, so that's saying different strokes for different folks. When you grow up in an area, an environment all your life and you see people struggling or just always like living paycheck to paycheck, people think like New York is like the place where you make all this great money and you're living this luscious life. Like, no, it's not like that for everyone. And for the majority of people, it's not, unfortunately. New York is a very tough place to live, okay? And as you grow, you know, you're tired of feeling like stagnant, you're tired of feeling stuck, or like you're just getting to a certain level in life, you're not getting ahead, and you know there's so much more. You start to feel mediocre. You feel like everything is like a struggle, a fight. And, you know, it takes a toll on you. It's a lot of wear and tear on your mind, on your body. Even when you're sleeping, you're always thinking about tomorrow and, you know, try not to be late to get to places. And, you know, it's a lot. You know, you have to be there, live there to experience what I'm talking about. And you don't even, it doesn't even take that long for you to get it. You know, you stay there for a month and you go through the hustle and bustle of work life and, you know, just everyday living, and you will see, you'll be crying to go back to your old place, okay? There are lots of perks to living in New York. It is a very vibrant city. However, just because a city is vibrant doesn't mean that, you know, it's everything for a person. So like I said, different strokes for different folks. I needed to find a place that wasn't too slow, but still had that city life and still was just as vibrant and diverse like New York, but a bit slower. So I know a lot of people say, oh my God, Houston, that's such a huge leap to go, you know, move cross country. And yes, it was, but I knew that this is some place that I wanted to move to. As scared as I was absolutely scared. But I was like, I'm going to put my faith in action. I'm going to trust God, because I know that He said that this is the decision and this is the time, this is the window of opportunity for me to go, right? And so, you know, before my mother passed away, she already told me that it was okay. We were already planning to move to Houston. We were planning it. We was like, as soon as she gets well, we're gonna, you know, take those steps to put things in place for us to move, because she was just tired of New York too. And, you know, she told me to go, and definitely look at my previous videos where you can see where I explain more, but she gave me that okay. So with her okay, and then all these signs, you know, God speaking to me in repetition, and, you know, and just trusting in His word, and also going to Millions Conference, and which is a conference for kingdom entrepreneurs, faith-based entrepreneurs. And it was a month after my mom passed. I had to go to the conference because I already paid for it. I had paid for 2 tickets, one for me and my mom, because that was like an act of faith. And one of these days I will share how I felt let down by God because my mom passed, and I was doing all these things, you know, praying to God and doing different acts of faith just to you know, show God that I believe that He's going to heal my mom. So I will do a separate video when I'm ready to share that. But I'm still trying to, you know, process and grieve properly before I share. Going to Millions Conference and listening to the speakers and hearing what they had to say really gave me that boost, that confidence, and sealed the deal for me to move to Texas. And when I got back from Millions Conference that Monday, I booked my flight, one-way ticket to Houston for me and my son. And I'm so glad I did it. I'm so glad. And it was a big faith move. But the moral of the story is I put my trust in God. And I had bought this shirt, and it said, what is it? It's Romans 8:28. And I'm drawing a blank right now. But Romans 8:28 basically says all things is working out for your good. All things. So I was like, God. And that's the shirt I wore to the airport. on the plane the day I moved to Houston, because that was my symbol of letting God know that I trust you and I know that everything is going to work out for my good, even though I don't know every step, even though I don't know how everything is going to pan out, even though when I got here I was super scared. I didn't know what was next, but like a few weeks later, I got a job through a temp agency. I had to scramble to find a daycare for my son. You know, God just lined things up. And then three months later, I got my own apartment. I figured out that this was the place for me. And so God just lined things up for me so well. And I prayed for wisdom. I prayed for understanding. I said, God, you have to show me the way, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared to wits because I always depended on my mom to give me that okay, to give me insurance, to root me on. And now, you know, the biggest loss of my life, the biggest love of my life has now, you know, gone ahead. And, you know, so it's just a lot. So it's like, how could you move to another state and you just, you know, lost your parent, your number one parent, right? How could you do that? But I knew I had to, because I knew that moving was going to help me heal. I knew it was going to help me heal a lot better than if I stayed, because I knew I was so over living in New York. I saw the stress that my mom went through. The stress that I was going through. I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this by myself with my son. And so, yes, I have a lot of family, but you know, I needed to get away, because I was just like, there's no way I'm going to be in this house, turning the key, opening the door in this house, and my mom's not there. I was like, I have to get away from here so that I can heal properly, because I'll just be crying laid out every day, you know, and that's not healthy. And I didn't want to be in an unhealthy environment for my son. So with that being said, that's why I made the leap. I put my faith in action. I took the steps. I didn't see all the steps, but I took the first step. And every time I took a step, God gave me the next set of instructions. Okay. So and that's how you have to go on with faith. That's how you have to put faith in action. You're not going to see the whole picture. You're not going to see the whole process. You just have to trust God and believe that He is going to be with you every step of the way. Okay, you have to trust Him. You know, we're not just saying trust God just for fluff or just to say it, but really challenge yourself to trust God. Like, know that He is here. He is beside you. He is before you. He's behind you. He's around you. He's in you. And He is going to show you the way. And trust God. He is going to direct your path. What is it? Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 through 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Like, that's so the scripture verse for my life right now. Like, I cannot lean on my own understanding, because my own understanding is going to have me living a mediocre, low vibrant, low frequency life. Okay? Imposter syndrome, just living beneath my means because I'm letting fear stand in the way. But when you let God lead the way in your life and you trust Him, He's going to direct your paths and make it straight, and you can walk confidently, boldly, with authority, knowing that God is before you and He got everything under control. All right? So I just want to share that with you. That is how I made that faith move, why I moved to Texas, how I, put my faith in action. I hope it encouraged you. I hope it blessed you in some way. Make sure that you look at, check out my blog, faithfitmom.blog. I'll probably put this video on there. Follow me on Instagram at LatashaLana, and check out my stories, because my Instagram stories is like where I kind of do vlogging. And so eventually I'm going to change that. I'm going to add those same videos onto my YouTube channel. Stop being lazy and I'm going to do it, all right? Hold me accountable, okay? So thank you so much for watching and stay tuned for the next video. Bye.